Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, Greg here, founder of www.wrestling.divaz.webs.com, your source for highlighting the most beautiful and deadly entertainers in the professional wrestling industry. Thanks for everyone for tuning in to blogtalkradio.com for another exclusive interview on the behalf of my website. I'm excited to be using this website once again to deliver another exclusive interview with my next very special guest. She is a professional wrestler and actress who got her start on the Women of Wrestling television show as one half of the tag team Cage Heat. She was known as Loca. Women of Wrestling was broadcast on the UPN, so it was a nationally syndicated television program. Since then, she has made her presence known as an actress on such shows as Veronica Mars, Nip Tuck, Weeds, and Southland. Yes. So I'd like to welcome my next special guest, Cher Ferreyra. Cher, how are you today?
Hello, Greg. I am fantastic. Thank you. Well, I actually have a little bit of an injury, but otherwise I'm fantastic. We can talk about that.
Well, I do personally wish you the best of luck in your recovery, and I'm sure you'll be back and better than ever.
Yes, I will. Stronger and stronger.
So aside from the injury, I know that you have an autograph signing with Jeannie Kim, and I interviewed her earlier this year. The autograph signing, is in California, so would you mind telling us more about that?
Yeah, it's really, really cool. It's going to be at the Marriott by LAX on Century Boulevard, Saturday, October 1st, and it's called Sign of the Times, and it's going to be one of those really cool conventions where you get to go see, old wrestling stars and present stars and get some autographs, pictures, and maybe even talk to some of my fans who never got a chance to talk to me. So I'm excited.
So to the autograph session, you just told me that you are involved with a television show called Chicos Angels, if that's correct.
It's a stage show. Stage show, sorry. Mm-hmm.
Do you mind telling us more about your role in that as well?
Oh, it's really, comedy has always been kind of my love. And, you kind of saw that with Loca and Dealt a Lot of Pain. We're like a little badass comedy duo. So Chicos Angels is a stage show, and we've been doing it for about 7 years. And it's going to be going on in San Diego in January. But there's a website called chicosangels.com. And there's a show called Charlie's Angels, as we all know, back in the day. But it's a little Latin twist. There's 3 angels played by guys, and it's Quesadilla, Cheetah Parole, and Frito-Lay. And I impersonate Charo on the Love Boats, and someone tries to shoot me, so I hire my killers, the angels to find my killer. And are you familiar with who Charo is, Greg?
Yes.
Yeah. So we've been doing the show for 7 years, and she actually came to the closing night, and it was really, really awesome to impersonate someone while you're standing in front of them. So it's been a great run, fantastic, and some more characters that I have under my belt. But Loca by far was my favorite.
Well, speaking of Loca, you got your start in the entertainment industry, as said before, on the Women of Wrestling television show, and I have talked to multiple individuals who were also part of that show, and the casting call for that show, about 1,100 girls submitted for that show, and it eventually got narrowed down to less than 40 contracts. So
that is correct.
What was your story behind getting involved with that show, and what inspired you to audition?
I was one of those special stories where Cage Heat was originally Dealt a Lot of Pain and Vendetta. That was, and then Vendetta got hurt. So, but it was before it aired. So they had this open space, and they loved the trainer loved Cage Heat, Selena. So here I am. My best friend called me and said, "Hey, there's this guy, Steve Blance, who's looking for Latina, athletic actresses. You want to come in and check this out? So I said, why not? Because I'm completely a ham. I'm a total athlete and a complete ham. So I was like, all right, now let me check it out. So I was really lucky. I came in 2 weeks before the opening of WOW. So I was training for about maybe 2.5 weeks, if that I got that under my belt. And someone told me, like, I don't know what you're doing here because the show opens in 2 weeks, but maybe you'll get in the next season. I said, okay. Cut to, me and Delta A Lot of Pain were the first people that you saw coming down the ramp for the show. Like, we opened the show, and it was amazing. You know, I felt like a rock star coming down there. So I was lucky. I didn't go through the vigorous boot camp training that those girls went through in the beginning. So I'm sure I would have went through with it, of course, you know, but I was really, really lucky. And me and Delta, Juandis, we clicked right off the bat. So we were just, you know, making each other shine, and we both shined together. So it was the best time of my life, I have to say. Short-lived, but fantastic.
So you said that you only had a few weeks of training to prepare for the show. So were you at all nervous about your debut, seeing as that you were not as seasoned as some of the other people on the show?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I felt like I had a lot of pressure because, you know, I was like the new girl, and I wanted to just keep up. And I have to say, I was, well, toot my own horn. I think I had to work harder because I came in so late, and so I did. So I was there. You know, some girls were there, you know, a few hours out of the day. I was probably there about 7 hours. I worked with Josh Milton. He was a referee, and he taught me and helped me train a lot during the off time. But I knew everyone's match. I knew what was going on, and so yeah, it was. I was super scared, but it was a good nervous. I have to say, I don't think I got much sleep the night before, and I think I might have got sick right after my first match. Ran right to the bathroom. I was like, wow, this is great. I got all my nerves up and out, and but it was fantastic. It was incredible.
Since the show was short-lived, only one season, they didn't have many champions in the show's history. However, you and Juandis, a.k.a. Delta A Lot of Pain, became WOW World Tag Team Champions. So what does it mean to you to have held that title, and how did it feel to be given the opportunity to win that title? Because everyone knows that wrestling is staged in that sense,
Mm-hmm.
but for you to be chosen to be the champions means that the producers see something special in the both of you.
Yeah, like I said, I think the moment that when Steve saw me and gave me my name, because Steve discovered me, Blance, and he's like, you're Loca, and you're going to be with Caged Heat. I think it was the chemistry that Delta and I had, and I think it was the market that we had. And the other part of it was we were the most clothed athletes, and we had such a presence and such a, you know, we were good wrestlers, you know, and I think for it being short-lived and to leave out on top was just a complete pleasure, and it was nice to see that the coaches, Selena and Steve, came up to me and said, you know, well, me and Delta, and said, you know, you guys are going to be it. So it felt fantastic. You know, I just felt like I had an obligation to my fans, and we were, you know, out on work release, we were convicts. I was concerned about how my role model would be because I have nieces and nephews and I love kids. So we totally made a twist on it, you know, and said, you know, stay in school, don't be like us. And if you want TNA, we'll give it to you, talent and attitude. We just wanted to prove that you can be powerful women without showing all the skin. You know, not that there's anything wrong with it, but it was something that we wanted to prove out there that, you know, you can, if you're a good wrestler and you can speak really well on the mic and have chemistry, that you can go far in any business that you're in.
Now, this can be said about any industry that you have to go through formal training for, but especially the wrestling industry. And I sort of know this because I've talked to individuals about how rigorous the training aspect can be, but when a fan says to you that wrestling is quote-unquote fake and the physicality is all staged and that the performers never get hurt, and I remember you telling me during a match that you actually got seriously injured, but you sucked it up and you finished the match.
Oh, yeah.
So how does it make you feel when someone says that the wrestling industry and the actual matches that you go through and physicality is fake?
I would love to grab that person and just bring him in the ring and just see what it's like, because it is so much work. I used to go train with Hard Knocks out in San Bernardino, and it's tough. It's, my x-rays aren't fake. I partially tore a PCL in a Roxy Powers match. And, with all the adrenaline pushing, you got to keep going. I even shot a scene after that, too. I think I was in denial. But it is vigorous work. It's just as much as, running a marathon that you could, do to your body. It's really tough. And, the more I was in the ring, the more my body would get used to it. But my first day, when I went there, I was just doing back bumps and front bumps, training, and the next day I woke up I got beat up by 20 people, and I didn't even wrestle anybody yet, So those people are obviously the ones that don't really give it a chance and to really know how hard these wrestlers work. And by far, I've given I knew the wrestlers were always hardworking, but after being one, I knew it was wow, hats off, hands down. Those are the toughest, hardworking people in this town. It's like a soap opera. They're working year-round. There's no repeats in a sense, They're working year-round. So I would love to have them in a match and get them in the ring, and I'll show them how fake it is.
You said earlier that, your wrestlers were the most fully clothed and arguably the most serious out of all the rest of the competitors in WOW.
Thank you.
And since WOW has disbanded, the wrestling industry, especially the way that people see women in the industry, has changed a bit.
Yeah.
Some see this as a positive, some see this as a negative, but especially what they're doing in the WWE, there's a lot of mixed feelings going around about all these models being hired to become professional wrestlers, as opposed to people who actually,
love to do it, yeah.
What is your opinion on these products that people see? As it does do an effect on the public and the way the public sees the wrestling industry as a whole.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It bothers me a bit, because I feel like you have to for me to live, if Loca was to go over to WWE, I wouldn't fit in, because I would look like a regular person, but my presence would be so loud and powerful, it just wouldn't fit. So I don't know. I was a bit disappointed with the bra and underwear matches and these models that are not, God bless them all, I'm just saying, but, we're athletes, we're straight up athletes and performers, and right, sports entertainment. So it was kind of stinky that they kind of went down that route, but, it's business and sex sells and all that stuff, but that's why I was a strong believer. And, I thought about thinking about going over, and I said, I just wouldn't want to put myself in that position. It's tough. It's a tough business. Acting's tough, and wrestling's even tougher because you have a lot of outside elements that you have to think about. And so I'm disappointed. I wish it would turn another way. I wish it would be more positive in my perspective. So I still have hopes that it could and it can, So that's my opinion.
Since WOW, you branched out as an actress, but you're still wrestling nowadays. Most recently, you made a major appearance for Wrestlicious, which is a digitally broadcasted wrestling show hosted by Jimmy Hart, the legendary manager back in the 80s. You were one-third of Jimmy's Angels, which is a parody of Charlie's Angels, along with your former tag team partner, Dwan Deese, a.k.a. Cobra. You were Anaconda, and you were joined by Jeannie Kim, who was also in WoW, and she was named Viper. So, although your footage didn't make it to the first season, what was it like to pick up your wrestling boots again and perform in front of a semi-major audience?
Oh, gosh.
Once more.
I honestly love wrestling. It's just something that I never knew that I would love. You know, it was something like, oh, okay, my Uncle Jerry, he was a big wrestling fan. And so I grew up watching that with him, and I was like, oh, geez, what's this stuff? And then I got stuck on it, and then to be actually be part of this federation and to be a tag team champ. I mean, it's something that I just love to do. So it was like riding a bike, and I just wish it could have taken off, and even more so. But it just felt right. It just feels so right to be in the ring kicking ass. Yeah, it was great. And to be part of, Jimmy Hart, who was just legendary, I was just ecstatic that he was going to be my manager. And full circle, it was weird that we were, Jimmy Hart's Angels and my stage show of Chicos Angels. It was this weird, thing that kind of came together. But, I mean, I love wrestling. I really do. It felt fantastic.
So you branched out as an actress, as mentioned before, and one of your major breakthroughs was you had a recurring role on the CW hit show Veronica Mars, and
I did.
I want to say that your role spanned a good 5 or 6 episodes. You got to work directly with the show star Kristen Bell, who now is a bigger star than she was at the time. She starred on the film Forgetting Sarah Marshall alongside Mila Kunis. So what was it like working on that show and also directly with her in your role?
Kristen Bell, I was so fortunate that, I was on the first 7 episodes, 6 or 7 episodes, and I was fortunate to have most of them with Kristen, and she is a fantastic actress. I mean, she's business, and she's just knows what she's doing on set. She really inspired me as far as here we are on set, and it's a different atmosphere, and she is fantastic. I mean, she was right there along with me, running lines, and ended up going on Heroes, and I'm friends with Zach Quinto. So it's this whole full circle. I mean, she is a brilliant actress, businesswoman, and I wish her all the success and hope to work with her again someday. But she's brilliant. She really is.
Do you have a particular favorite scene or moment that you've shared with any of the show's actors or actresses while working on Veronica Mars?
Well, I have to say my first episode that Chris and I had to shoot, it was a long day, and we had to, her line, she had to do the alphabet backwards, and it was like 3 a.m. It was cold. I was driving this golf cart, and we just looked at each other, and she's like, I really hope I don't mess this up, and we hope that we both didn't mess up. She messed up the one time, and then I messed up after she got it right, and then we finally nailed it, and that was kind of like breaking the ice. It was our first scene together, and we just meshed, and we laugh about it to this day. I think I bumped into her at some function, Hope for Haiti, I believe it was, and we said the same thing, and it was like, oh, backwards alphabet, like that's just what sticks in my mind every single time. So that was fun and not fun, because it was so late, and she ran off to a plane she got on a plane and did an interview the next day. So it's really inspiring when you're successful, you gotta, you're just on the plane and getting up the next day. So she was awesome.
So how did your career as a professional wrestler help you as an actress? Well, you are acting in a sense when you're doing a wrestling show, and of course it was on TV, but it's 2 different ball games, of course.
Yeah, absolutely different. Well, first of all, I mean, I got all my I was performing live, so getting that live energy helped me so much. So me being in front of, 5 people or 5,000 people feels the same as far as it's that pressure, but that amazing pressure. So I feel like the fact that I did stunts and this character and created this person with this team, really, I knew that I could do anything. I was like, okay, I feel like I did something that was really scary and a dream to a lot of people, and I knocked it out of the way and really helped me with, because we had to do live commercials for syndicated channels, and so that was that was my first gig. So I didn't know much, and so just to kind of get thrown in the fire, I guess I work best under pressure. So it really taught me that I can do it. So gave me confidence.
If there was one person who you could definitely work with, actor, actress, or director, who would it be, and for what show?
Let's see. Well, I love Quentin Tarantino. I just think that he has an eye for women, badass women, and I love Westerns. I love Asian flicks, kung fu movies, and I just think that we would completely jive. I think he would completely love me, and he would throw me in one of his films. I would, by far, would love to work with him. And, of course, I would love to play Robert De Niro's daughter one day. That would be great, to play some sort of mobster daughter or somewhat like that. And as far as TV show goes, I would love to be some part of, a sketch, something that was like Mad TV or like SNL kind of thing. But now I guess Saturday Night Live would be something that I would love to be part of. I would love to be part of that, absolutely.
So one question that I always ask every interviewee is a simple question when looked at on paper, but kind of hard to narrow down to. So if you had one word, and since you're also a known actress, you can also answer this question for that field too, but if you could just use one word to describe your experience with professional wrestling, what would that one word be?
Explosive.
And how about for acting?
Commitment.
So, we're wrapping up here, so how can fans stay in touch with you and keep up to date with all your projects? Because, as mentioned, you recently appeared on the third episode of the latest season of Weeds, so you're certainly doing a lot.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I go out for a bunch. I've got a website, CherFerreyra.com. You can look me up there, leave me messages there, and ChicosAngels.com. You can find my latest show dates for stage. Check that out. And, so I guess that's the best two ways that you can get in touch with me. And, of course, come check me out October 1st at Sign of the Times at LAX Marriott in a couple of weeks.
So finally, and this is something a little fun new niche that I have with all my interviews.
Okay.
This interview was a shoot interview and you were out of character, but I got a couple emails, messages, texts from people who wanted to do something with the interviewees in character. So, in character, could you tell me, and you can be your Loki character, you can be your Anaconda character from Wrestlicious, whatever you choose, can you tell me and the rest of the viewers why you are the best professional wrestler in the entire world?
Well, I'm always going to be Loca from Cage Heat. And, wait, what was the question again, Greg? What did you say?
Why you're the best wrestler in the entire world.
Oh, yeah, I'm the best because I'm the best because I can come out, I got a big mouth, I got big punch, and I can match it. So, what up? Don't be messing with Loca.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Cher, for your time, and this interview was great. I am completely honored to say that I I got the opportunity, and I'm a bit tongue-tied because I'm that honored. So
Thanks, Greg.
I was honored that much to interview someone who is so talented and who got to work with so many great people within the entertainment industry. So thank you again so much for your time. I appreciate it.
You got it. You got it. Peace out.
Well, thanks for everyone again for tuning into blogtalkradio.com for my exclusive interview with Cher. Be sure to check out www.wrestling-divaz, divaz.webs, webs.com for more exclusive content and interviews. And also be sure to follow the website on Twitter at Wrestling Divaz, again with the Z at the end. So thank you all very much, and be sure to check out the website for more details and interviews.